beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Point of View. Ooh, we have a lot to catch up on, and our girl Danielle is back at the table to join the discussion.
Hey girl.
So coming up on today's show, my goodness, a lot has happened. The U.S. bombed all 3 of Iran's nuclear sites, and now everyone's asking, what's happening next? Then we're talking about R. Kelly's fiance finally breaking her silence and what her family had to say about it all. And of course, you don't want to miss Girlfriend's Guide coming up later. So pull up a seat and join the discussion. You're watching POV. Okay. So just in case you may have missed the saga of what's going on between the U.S. and Iran, here's a quick rundown. It all started when Donald Trump gave the green light to bomb all 3 of Iran's nuclear sites, calling the hits monumental and saying they were basically completely wiped out. Then Iran clapped back. They said, oh no, missiles were fired. And they fired 30 missiles at the U.S. base in Qatar. Is that the U.S.? No, that was at Israel. But I'm going to keep the information right. They fired at the U.S. base in Qatar, but thankfully no one was hurt. Fast forward to today. A ceasefire is technically in place, but let's be honest, it's looking really shaky because both sides are still, of course, poking at each other, and nobody's really backing down. So here we are, on the edge of a war. Is this the calm before the storm? The Trump MAGA agenda promised no more foreign wars. And now, not even 6 months, not even a year later, let me keep it right, here we are. What you think about this?
What I think is I'm very happy that Willie is not here to join us.
I feel like I'm mad that Willie isn't here.
Right.
Really?
Willie,
No.
Willie, you in the back?
No.
I'm gonna sip this because
Willie would have had this table in an uproar
Oh, yeah,
if he was here.
Yeah. Right away. It would have been hot.
I'm gonna sip this because Kamala told y'all that we was gonna be in a war with this as y'all president in 6 months,
And they still voted for him.
they did.
They still put him in office.
He doing everything he said he was gonna do except for this, I guess, since we wasn't supposed to be in war. But
This was our surprise.
everything else,
This was our gift.
Surprise, surprise.
exactly.
No.
Wow.
But you know what? With, speaking about Kamala, I just feel like no matter what, I feel like this is where we would have been. I honestly
think
believe
so,
that.
too.
Yeah, and so, unfortunately, and I can't even say that, but yeah, unfortunately we have Trump and we just can't trust what he says. Just like he told us when he, bombed on Iran and he said that, it was so successful, and then they come out saying, oh, they didn't get anything. You know what I'm saying? We moved it all out before. And so now with the ceasefire, I'm interested, I'm prayerful, I'm hopeful that we are not, going into war here. But at the same time, it's like, I think when we hear the word ceasefire, people think that means like it is an end of the war. And so I'm hoping that is what it will mean. But a ceasefire literally is a ceasefire. That can be, we're agreeing to ceasefire for 6 hours, for 6 days, or forever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be forever.
Right.
I was on the phone with my friend when this happened, and it was breaking news. Right away, I was like, breaking news. Let me just get on the computer. And then that's when I saw that the B-2s, the bombers, were headed to Guam or had just gotten there or whatever. And then Trump came out saying, well, we're going to wait. We're not going to, fire back right away, blah, blah. It wasn't 20 minutes later that we heard breaking news. The U.S. just fired on Iran. Could not believe it.
I just want to know, are we really actually ready for a war?
No.
Honestly, because over there in Iran, don't they have, 1 million or over 1 million people in their army?
I'm sure.
Do we even have half of that?
I mean, it's the weapons and the capacity,
Right, so don't be surprised.
that we do have, though. But what I will say is, as out of touch as we are, sadly, they going to need some real combat boots on the ground.
Hello?
They about to pull any and everybody.
They better
that
go
they
ahead
can.
and make some moderation to that boots on the ground dance, baby, because we ain't gonna need the cowboy boots. We gonna need them combat boots.
Well, it said this might have slowed it down a little bit because Sunday morning, Iran fired around 30 missiles at Israel. Okay, 4 of which made it through the country's missile defense systems and caused injuries and extensive damage.
Wow.
I think the airport was taken out. A few things were taken out. So it seems like after this is what I've heard. This is like the consensus some people are saying, that once that happened, they realized Iran may be doing a little more than Israel may be able to support. And the U.S. is like, okay, well, we got to kind of like, work it out. Everybody can get their dibs in, but then let's just like kind of leave this alone. That was something that
they're not going to leave it alone. Trump is not going to accept any level of defeat.
Correct. And I'm interested.
They said they wouldn't.
As much as I don't like him, I saw something on social media today, and I thought it was interesting because they said that Trump is showing pretty much basically that, like, every president kind of showed or like was kind of acting scared when it came to, conflict with other countries. And that Trump is basically showing or saying like, we are who we say we are. We're not backing down. Y'all won't bully us type thing. And I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Because like him, because he
that he
started
gonna
it,
stand
right?
in the paint?
Basically.
Yeah.
But like what you standing like.
But also like we are not as strong as these other countries.
But didn't he also do this without like, was it the Congress permission?
Yeah.
So
he did.
like,
They say it's illegal.
Yeah.
correct. So like, but they ain't not going to impeach him, so it
no,
don't matter.
they're not.
But
Yeah, they talking about impeachment, but I don't think
they
that
told
they will.
us it's illegal. Right.
Willie, where are you?
Speaking of illegal, right? It looks like R. Kelly,
oh Lord,
illegally doing things wrong.
Illegally urinating.
Okay. Thank you.
she ain't wrong.
It looks like R. Kelly is officially engaged. Is an engaged man from behind bars. Okay, well he's currently serving a 30-year federal prison sentence. But that hasn't stopped his longtime girlfriend, Jocelyn Savage, from sticking by his side.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, some of y'all may remember Jocelyn's been with R. Kelly since she was 19. Now, nearly 10 years later, she's still holding him down. Okay, so in a recent video, Jocelyn addressed the public and her family directly, making it clear she is not a victim and that she's happy and in love. Let's take a look.
I am not a victim. I've been with Robert for 10 years. He has been incarcerated for 6 years, and I have seen him every weekend for the past 6 years. Just 3 years ago, I proposed to Robert, and he said yes. And we are planning on getting married and having a family.
I mean, what do you...
Wait a minute.
Where would y'all like to start?
Okay, where I want to start is that, are conjugal visits still a thing?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think it might depend on where you are.
Oh, like
I think it
depending on
depends
security
on,
level?
Yeah, I think it might depend on where you are. But for R. Kelly, probably.
She lost me at she proposed to
Girl,
Robert.
me too. The first
No,
time
girl,
I saw it.
you proposed to Robert 3 years ago, baby, and you ain't a wife yet?
She did 3 years ago?
That's what she said.
That's
What
what
you
she
gonna?
said
I mean,
3
what you
years
gonna
ago.
do? He been in jail for 6, right? That what it just said. So you've been with him for
now?
10 years. He been in
Oh,
jail
but how
for
they
6.
gonna get
So you
married?
only was together for 4 before he
Zoom?
got in jail. But you weren't the only one either. So
Look how time flies, though. I can't believe he's been in
can't
jail
believe
for
it.
6
me neither.
years.
Yeah.
I remember when he was on
It seems
trial.
like he was just locked up last year.
Jesus.
Wow.
I know
That's
he's counting them days.
crazy. So
This is
30 she
ridiculous.
need to
I'm not
run.
gonna lie. I've never heard of this woman.
Oh.
Jocelyn, we've heard
Sorry
of her.
to this woman.
I'm so sorry for this woman. Like, I've never heard before this story. I've never heard of this woman.
They killed me trying to make it seem like he's so different, like Robert.
Right.
R.
R.
Kelly.
Kelly, that's right. Do y'all think
Right.
do y'all think there is some kind of strategy to this? Like, why is she doing this?
I don't
30
know. Maybe
years he
she's
has.
brainwashed, just like
She's
Lord
very
rest in peace,
brainwashed.
Aaliyah.
So do you think that grooming,
Yes.
perhaps she had been groomed?
Absolutely.
And
she
now
was. What was she?
she's
19?
not gonna stray away.
She
Yeah,
was 19 when they got together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So to her, this is real love, and I'm
Come
going
on
to stick
now.
with it. You think that's what
That's
it
what
is?
she's talking about. I'm gonna,
on.
girl, run.
It's not
Leave.
money.
She
Not
was
money.
probably
maybe?
paid to make that statement.
Oh, you
It's
think
probably
so?
fame. It probably gets her some publicity, but it doesn't look like she's getting much money from the likes of the wig.
Okay, I saw that.
I
Wig.
mean,
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
but you know
But
what?
I saw it.
Hairstylist say it.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
it could
I'm tired of
also
this.
be strategy, maybe because you know, quite often when some guys are incarcerated, you know, they value having a woman on the outside,
Right.
not just for them letters and pen pals and companionship, but also to be in the work field, baby, and put that good money on that commissary.
But-
So I wonder if he's out here like a
If
little
she's
debt collector.
working,
But at the end of the day, that's how they be getting you, because you think you holding your man down and you putting money on his books and writing him, and guess what? You not the only one he
That's what
writing,
he got.
baby.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You going up there every weekend
If
for
she
the
thinks
Sunday
she-
business, baby. He
you
had a
can't even
business on
trust the men that
Saturday.
are
If she
incarcerated. This is
If
crazy.
she thinks she's the only fiance, female
Oh,
friend,
God.
pen pal, whatever, she's just as delusional as we know that she is.
Wow.
Okay, question, right? Have any of you guys ever written to a love interest in jail?
Yes, but I was in a
I'm about to
relationship
get up
first.
from this kid,
What?
right?
I did. And I also found out I wasn't the only one writing, but as he was,
Caliber
Oh
woman
my
do you think
goodness.
I
So,
am?
Judy,
I was in high school,
Judy, you
though.
ain't never put a money on your phone?
I was in high school. I wasn't
You
putting money on
ain't
their
never
phone,
heard,
though.
oh, you got a collect call from a correctional
Never.
institution?
And they say their name and you got to
It
accept.
hasn't, no, and not to put nobody's business out there, but it hasn't been from nobody that was a love interest. I'll
Oh
say
my
that.
goodness.
Okay, you don't held down a few homeboys, homegirls.
Not no homegirls, but homeboys, family.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm too embarrassed to talk, all right? But you can get it in my book, Falling Up. Falling Up, the Unstoppable Journey of a Tear.
Y'all, please buy my friend
Oh,
book.
please
We're gonna
buy.
talk about it until it's off the shelf.
You know I am. You can read about all my
Rendezvous.
incarceration institution situations.
Lord.
I'm too ashamed to say now. We have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Girlfriend's Guide and Unpopular Opinion. So stay tuned, because you're watching POV.
What's up, social media family? Thank you so much for tuning in with us. It is Tuesday, and y'all know I'm back with a question. So, if you were a boss, what is one perk that you would give your employees?
Well, I would make sure they have an extended time of maternal and paternal care.
Now, when you say extended time, what exactly?
Well,
do
I think,
mean?
some places, like some countries, give 18
months,
weeks,
yeah.
They
20
say it's
weeks,
not a
16
long
months.
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They say it's not a long
What about
time.
you? What would you give your employees?
I have it currently, but for people that don't, unlimited PTO.
Okay. Okay. I think for me, I would give my employees, not me thinking about Tally, about to say crab legs.
Unlimited crab legs.
No, I would give my employees like every holiday off. Like whatever the
Yes.
holiday is, I don't care who race
why
it
we
is, what
working.
country it's from. If it's on the calendar, baby, you're off and it's paid. If I was a boss.
Yeah.
What I used to do was I would give, when I had my salon, I would allow the people that work there to have like free promotion on my social media pages.
Ooh, yes.
As long as their content was like appeling and something like, that I
Yes.
would post. Yeah. And I feel like, that is a good perk now.
That's very important right
Yeah.
now in the age of social media.
And I'm so glad you said the unlimited crab legs, because,
I knew that's
heard
what she
that.
was going to say.
Yeah.
In my mind, like as I was talking, I was like, she going to say
You
unlimited
could be my
crab
boss if
legs.
you give me unlimited crab legs.
But for y'all at home, drop down in our comments and let us know what perks you would give your employees if you were a boss. We're going to get back to the show.
All right. As Kevin Hart would say, welcome back. This is the part of the show where we dive into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. Last week, we asked, if a woman is the breadwinner, can a man still be the head of the household? Well, now, a study just added fuel to that fire. It shows men who are unemployed, y'all get this, are 33% more likely to be cheated on. Why? Because when the money's gone, honey,
So
the
what's the
baby's
money?
gone. All right.
So it's the honey.
The relationship changes. Power dynamics change, attraction can fade, and resentment starts to creep in. And when she's the only one holding it down, some women start asking, can I really do this long term? Because let's be real, it's not just about money, it's about pressure, partnership, and feeling supported. So what do you have to say about this? Oh, go ahead, Danielle's like, tap me in.
So here's the thing. I feel like you have to know what kind of man you have.
That's good.
Because there are certain things like anything can happen. Somebody can be laid off. Their company could be, go back. Like anything can happen.
Right.
But do you have a man who's just sitting in it and sitting at home, not trying to do anything because he lost his job?
Yeah.
Or do you have someone out there trying to get it, out there hustling, out there trying to figure it out? And then also, just because you can't contribute the money like you may have used to, what are you doing to compensate? Like you can't just not be romantic, not do anything around the house and all of that, and not contribute to
That's a
money.
good point.
Dang,
So
so
what
what
are
be motivated to be romantic without no money?
but that's the thing. We as a generation, we as a generation also, not to say that we put too much emphasis on money. There are a lot of things that you can do that don't require a lot amount of money.
I believe
So,
that.
but if you living with somebody and if you cannot contribute to the bills, if you're just sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, baby, if I'm at home working, you could cook dinner. You could take care of the kids.
Right.
The trash, help them with their homework. You should already be taking out the trash, but like things around the house,
Right.
doing certain things. Like if you're just sitting at the house literally doing nothing or because you're depressed
and
or
you got
whatever.
the nerve to be on that video game?
Ooh,
You feel,
don't you do
get
it?
Oh, you seem triggered.
Because if you ain't got no money and you on that video game,
Oh, it's a problem, right?
Listen,
why
that's
are you
all I'm
on the
saying.
video game if the video game is not paying you?
Ain't.
Uh-oh.
Why are no? Because let me just say this: there
Get it,
are
get it.
professional video game players,
Right.
But your man is not a professional video game player. Make sure you get a man that know how to get some money.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Major key.
Listen, it's so funny. Junie made me think about this trend where they say, "Oh, my man about to show y'all something," and y'all,
Yes. And y'all better be happy
like
about
it,
okay?
right? And all these women are, they have their husbands showing like their game controller collection and things like that. One thing about me, I ain't never liked no video game playing.
Me either.
Never. I'm not saying you can't never play or you can't play with the kids sometimes, but for you to have your own collection and you gotta stand in line hours waiting for a PS5 to come out. Okay, it's a problem. But
You ain't wrong.
But what I will say is that, I do hate the double standard in relationships where a woman can be in between jobs and, all of a sudden now your man, is fired or laid off or something happens or he's injured on the job and now he's 33% more likely to get cheated on.
Right.
My question is if this pertains to like just a dating situation or is this your husband?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
Is
I
it
would
emotional
like to know.
cheating or is it physical cheating?
It's probably both.
What is it?
Women will do something quick emotionally. If you
Well,
ain't
listen,
getting it in the house.
if your man is financially down and you are cheating, baby, it better be financial cheating.
Hello? He better be starting you something, to be honest. If you're going to do it.
What's going on?
And if you're doing it, you better do it for the both of y'all if you want to stick beside him. Get him some money to help that rent. Go on another extra date night, something.
Man, I'm telling you, man, it's a dirty world out here.
Well, now there's comments in social media saying that this is conditional love.
Oh.
That men are being loved on the condition that they will provide or can provide.
Well, that
No,
is a very
man.
important condition.
It
Let's
is.
not
Hello.
play that.
Hello,
Right.
don't men love women conditionally for their looks?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
well-
As soon as you gain too much weight,
No.
they don't.
Talk to me.
Love is supposed to be unconditional, but
Right.
this fake thing that we call love that really is like a LUV,
Uh-huh.
it really like, I love you.
LUST?
LUA or LU.
That's the one. That's the one.
Okay.
Y'all pushing up here.
Okay.
up with Judy. Listen, Judy is giving me like so many memes today. That's so crazy. I can't share the last one I just had with y'all. But I really hope that we can get, back to what the Bible says love is, and to be living a little bit closer to the Bible.
Tell them what it says.
The Bible says that love is not envious, it's not boastful, it doesn't judge, it's not puffed up, it's patient, it's kind. All of these things that most of the love that we know in friendship and relationships is not.
Yeah.
Well, if men are 33% likely to be cheated on, then what are women really looking for?
Somebody to pay their bills.
Somebody pay that mortgage. The mortgage, okay? Not the mortgage. Somebody pay that mortgage.
Y'all,
Okay, not the rent, honey. The mortgage.
So the money is the root of the whole
The
situation.
money is not the root, but if we going back to the biblical, the Bible said a man supposed to be priest, provider, and protector.
The Lord ain't say 50-50.
Oh, he didn't say it. No.
But he did say that that a virtuous woman, she does go and make money and bring it into her household. So whether it's 50-50 or we putting it in the storehouse, the woman should be bringing something in as well.
Yeah. Even if it's her own business or something.
Yes.
Well, what about if he's trying to be an entrepreneur? Because, like many people, okay, well, I'm not going to work for anybody anymore.
He better have it together before he's trying to get with a woman.
But and not even just that, because we're talking about a man that's with a woman that has then lost his job. And so it also falls onto the responsibility of the woman. If your man and your household is in a time of need, you're supposed to birth what is in that man.
What's that Taraji movie where
acrimony?
You can't. That's what I'm saying. He had a dream.
She stuck beside that.
He had a dream,
man.
but he was lazy. He didn't want to get a part-time job while he also could do this.
Until he wasn't.
But then it was damn shit.
And then another woman came around. She was tired. Taraji be so tired.
But
that girl be so tired. She
what
be
was that? The
acting
image
her
of Straw was like
a black woman that had enough.
Listen, she be so tired. But she held that. That was such a good movie too.
It was, but that's what I'm saying. He had a dream, but he
That
was
was Tyler
only
Perry?
he was.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, well,
yes. But he was only working on himself. He only worked on his dream. He never did anything.
And he cheated on her.
He cheated on her, and he was selfish because why would you be taking out money and not paying a mortgage?
Right.
Maybe you trying to have your dream and you got
Well,
the house to
that's
live in.
because you got to know when to hold and you got to know when to fold. She should have folded that thing up and packed it on a long time ago.
But then when she left, she was mad, so she didn't really
she
want
left
to leave.
too late. She left too late.
She did.
You got to be a little earlier.
Wow.
That was a sad movie.
It was.
Okay, so we're going to go on into unpopular opinion, right? This is our final segment, y'all. Let's get into it. So this is heartbreaking, okay? The special LGBTQ plus youth option on the National Suicide Hotline has been quietly removed. That means young people who've once had a direct access to someone who truly understood their struggles now have to go through the general line. No specific support, no safe space just for them. And considering the LGBTQ plus youth are at a much higher risk for suicide, this change feels less like a system update and more like a step backwards. So what do y'all think? I mean, can removing this specialized help be harming the LGBTQ youth? Or is the general support line truly enough?
Nah.
It's harmful.
I got a question.
It could cost lives?
It's harmful. I think it's harmful because you already have these people struggling with trying to figure out who they are anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like you have people telling them that they can't be who they are and believe in, Jesus, like they have so many internal struggles already.
Yeah.
So to remove this hotline, like what was the point?
Right.
Like I would just like to know what was the point of removing the hotline?
DEI, honey, the end of DEI. That was
sure
some
that's
inclusion
why.
that they said they probably will no longer be including. And I honestly, I think regardless of my stance on, LGBTQIA+, I do think that is disheartening and it's sad, because just taking out that option and that safe space for them, because at the end of the day, Christian or not, we are supposed to lead with love, especially as a Christian, and to be a safe space for all the people, all the wayward people of the world. I ain't saying they wayward, but I'm gonna say I don't know.
And they
Next
took away
caller.
jobs too.
They
took away jobs for whoever was on the other end of that phone helping that child out through whatever they're
Well, maybe
going
they didn't.
through.
Maybe they just told them you're gonna work for the general sector now. Maybe they
I
didn't
have
lose
a
their job.
question.
Go ahead.
So I do believe this is sad.
Yes.
And trying to see how to say it, so I don't want to say it wrong. But So, and I understand, you know, that a lot of LGBTQ people struggle a lot more than others and things like that. But what I'm trying to figure out, like, what other specific group has their own hotline?
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, is this the only group that have a higher risk of, you know, suicide and whatever versus maybe young blacks or something, like any other group? Why, like,
I think
you know what I mean?
I think that sex and race and gender are all three different things.
I agree.
But not when
the
it
reason
comes to
why
hotline. I know they ain't saying this is a white suicide hotline.
But why I have an issue?
No, I think
Right.
it's for the entire
Why I have
youth
a somewhat
community.
issue is that because people, although they are completely different, people always compare them and try to put one higher than the other and vice versa. And when I hear how it is, it's very interesting because I'm like, well, you know, for instance, like Black people, slavery, everything we've been through, and then they always compare that to what the LGBTQ goes through, and yes, they get discriminated against and
I'm
things
gonna
like
tell
that.
you right now,
but
those people are
it's a lot
very
of different-
ignorant because it's not the same
Okay,
thing.
I agree, but it always comes up.
Well, wow. That's a great conversation. We're going to get back to that conversation. There's a lot to unpack on that. And that's a wrap for today's show. But before we wrap, we would like to leave you with a quote. The most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do. Kobe Bryant, thank you for watching.
R.I.P.
Thank you for watching POV. See us right here at Afro TV.